So I wanted to talk about this. This person commented on one of my videos and she said, mine was back in February and my bottom is killing me all the time. So I asked her, if she had had a permanent hard reline yet, and she said that they have given her her permanents. So if you get your permanent dentures and they're killing you inside, then you need to go back to get adjustments. And I also wanted to address this as well. It seems to me that there's a lot of confusion about permanents and immediate dentures. Okay, people will say, well, I didn't get, new dentures at 6 months, but not everybody does. Or they'll say, oh, I already got my permanents and it hasn't been 6 months yet. They gave me my permanents right away. So it's just a verbiage, thing. It's the same thing. When you get your teeth extracted and you have dentures put right in your mouth, they're called immediate dentures because they're being placed immediately in your mouth when the dentist extracts your teeth. Now, those immediate dentures can be made into your permanent dentures. They can be made for that intentional purpose right out of the gate. I do that most times in my office. I make immediate dentures, and then at 6 months when the patient is finished healing and stabilizing, we do a permanent hard reline, and that immediate denture then becomes their permanent denture that they wear for years and years. So just because you have been given immediate dentures does not mean that those are not your permanent dentures. Just because you are, maybe at an office that does immediate dentures, healer dentures, they call them, for 6 months, doesn't mean those cannot be made into permanent dentures with a permanent hard reline. And I want to stress, if you have permanent dentures, you've gone through the healing process and you've gotten new dentures, or you've gotten a permanent hard reline to convert those to your long-term, dentures, then go back and have adjustments. Adjustments are perfectly normal. When we are taking your impressions, it is capturing those soft tissues in your mouth at that moment in time. So we pour plaster into that impression and make a mold of your mouth. But that is plaster. It's not going to show where those tissues are soft and movable or flexible. So once the denture is then put in your mouth, that is when you get to feel and say, okay, this kind of is pinching over here, or this is rubbing over here. We cannot know that until we put them in your mouth. We can guess that, we can shape that denture with an educated guess and knowledge of where those tissues will be moving. You've seen me on these videos that I make all the time, finishing dentures and shaping dentures, and I am making an educated guess about where that patient's tissues are moving. But I would rather underfinish that denture than place it in the patient's mouth and then say, oh, it's pinching over here, or it's a little long over here, it's rubbing over here, and then take a little bit off at a time and finesse it to perfection than to just over finish it and now you've got a loose denture on your hands. So, I've seen some people on here that get upset that they have to go back for adjustments, but that's part of the process and that should not upset you. You should go back for those adjustments. I don't charge for adjustments and most providers don't. And if they do, you should be talking to your provider before they're making your dentures, finding that out so that you're prepared for that. But adjustments in dentures are common, even when they are your permanent dentures. They're necessary when you have immediate dentures. Your mouth is changing rapidly for 6 months, so you will need adjustments. So if you have any more questions, drop them in the comments. All right, have a great day.